Hello, welcome to Vlogmas. In case you didn't read the title, this is my favorite Christmas movies. So,
I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about.
In reality, these aren't just my favorite Christmas movies. They're also Christmas movies that are good and that I think you guys will probably enjoy. Although, it's possible you won't. The first movie I have today is Falling Against the Wall. Home Alone 1 and 2. Now, everybody has to have seen Home Alone. Some people hate it. Most people hate it. But then, I mean, it's a Christmas classic, okay? And Home Alone 1, I think, is pretty good. I mean, the parents are really stupid, okay? They just are. But Home Alone 2 sort of repeats the story, but instead he's in New York. And then Home Alone 3, we just pretend that never existed. In case you've never watched Home Alone, it's about this annoying 8-year-old named Kevin. He goes to sleep in the attic, and then the family forgets about him and leaves him alone in an empty house for Christmas.
What else could we be forgetting?
And then he finds out that these two guys are trying to rob the house, and he essentially tries to protect the home. Home Alone 2 stars Donald Trump. Home Alone 2, essentially the next Christmas after Home Alone 1, they are all going to be going on a plane. And then he loses track of his dad, and he gets lost in the airport, goes into a different airplane, and that one's heading to New York. And so he's heading to New York, and he gets a place at a really fancy hotel that was beautiful. And then he finds out that the two robbers who tried to rob his old house are in New York and trying to rob a toy store. And then he goes and tries to protect the toy store. So the next movie is A Christmas Carol, the movie. The one I'm going with is the 1951 version. Yes, it was made way before I was born. So was everything else on this. And so it's essentially about a guy named Scrooge who doesn't believe in festivity and stuff, even at Christmas time. Which honestly I completely understand, because like whenever I'm old, I'm going to literally be Scrooge. Because I'm going to be a grumpy old man when I'm like 50, most likely. That didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to. Anyways, essentially these ghosts come and haunt him just to show Scrooge how cold-hearted he is. So that's probably why it's one of the best Christmas movies in the universe. The next one I've got is The Muppet Christmas Carol. This I actually remember more vividly than I remember watching Scrooge, because I remember I went to go see this with my best friend Rio. She's going to be doing Vlogmas as well. The Muppet Christmas Carol is exactly the same story as the original Christmas Carol, but it's the Muppets, which makes it 100 times better, because let's be honest, the Muppets make anything good. The next one, probably the best Christmas movie of all time, and that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Some people say The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie. I disagree with you. It's definitely a Christmas movie. Okay, it's actually both, but I love it for both the Halloween aspects and the Christmas aspects together. Anyways, it's about this skeleton named Jack Skellington, and he's the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town. He becomes bored with Halloween, who becomes bored with Halloween? He accidentally wanders into this place called Christmas Town, which you'll never guess where they planned Christmas. Wow, never would have guessed there. And so he decides to try and kidnap Santa Claus and take over his role. Anyways, that plan doesn't go well. Next movie is Frozen 1 and 2. Why? Because I was running out of ideas when I made this list, so we've got Frozen 1 and 2 on there. I'm sure you all know the story. If you don't,
Let it go! Let it go!
Into the unknown.
it's about a queen named Elsa who has magic powers, magic ice powers to be specific. And in Frozen 2, what is Frozen 2 about? I actually forget, and I watched it like 2 months ago, so maybe it's not the best thing to put on my recommendations list. So be free to yell at me in the comments and be like, you got that storyline incorrect. That movie's actually about this. My battery's running out of battery, so we're gonna go charge you. I'll talk to you guys later and probably find out how to be more orientated when I speak.
I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about.
So a little uneven here, but we'll roll with it. Maybe we switch this to here. No, that does not work. Don't follow me. Okay, it looks much better sitting here than I do. There, picture of Christmas time. The next movie we'll be talking about is criminally underrated, and that is Anna and the Apocalypse. And you probably just heard that name and you're like, Anna and the Apocalypse? Are you sure that's a Christmas movie, Ariel? And yes, I'm sure it is. One thing, it was way sadder than I expected it to be. Two, if you don't like musicals, you just won't like this. Anyway, it was very musical-y, and I loved it. I did watch it 2 years ago on an airplane though, so I'm not sure how my taste in movies has changed in the last 2 years. It's essentially around Christmas time, and there happens to be a zombie apocalypse, and yeah. It's literally what it sounds like, but it's also a musical. Anyways, if I can get at least 2 more people to love Anna and the Apocalypse, I would love it because it's really good and I think it is so underrated. Anyways, next movie is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which once again is another classic, and it's essentially about the Grinch tries to make Christmas suck for all the Lulus. They are not called Lulus. What are they called? Ah, they're not called Lulus. They're called Who's. Wait, are they called Who's? Anyway, the Grinch tries to steal Christmas and steal all the gifts of the little kids. And then he bumps into this little girl named Cindy Lou who tries to save Christmas, or tries to get the Grinch to have a bigger heart. Both the live action and the animated version are amazing, and I love them. Next movie. This again isn't like considered a Christmas movie, but Little Woman. I love it. You love it. We all love it. And it came out around Christmas last year. Well, technically, depends which one you're talking about. I'm talking about the newest. I read the books when I was like 6 years old, and I've been told numerous times that the new one is amazing, but I actually haven't seen it, so, but hopefully by the time this is out, I will have seen it. It's an amazing book. If you ever get the opportunity to read it, and if you ever get the opportunity to watch it, which I still haven't gotten the opportunity to, do watch it. Well, the next movie is Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas. Now I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas is a Disney movie, in case you didn't know. I do remember my mom watching this with me actually. We both got sick and we stayed home, and I ended up turning this on and she watched it with me, and she laughed. She laughed, okay? Teddy and the mom get separated from the rest of the family on Christmas, and they try and meet up with the rest of the family. And I do remember there's this one part where somebody's stolen their suitcases. They have absolutely no money. And so they start singing and they get in an argument. And my mom watched it and she laughed so hard. She's like, you know what? If this happened to you and I, this would so be what happened. And honestly, I couldn't agree more, because this is how my mom and I would completely spend our Christmas.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey, what are you doing? I'm helping you.
No, I don't need help. I can do this on my own.
No, you can't, Teddy. You're not even in the right key. dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright.
Now watch my mom watch this video and say she doesn't even remember that. Okay, next movie is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The movie was made in 1964 and is a Christmas stop-motion animated. My mom used to have us watch this quite often as well. I actually refused to watch it for a while because I just wanted to rebel against my mom, and now I'm 14 and live across the world from my mom, and I'm like, why did I always not want to watch that? Because it was so sweet. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer essentially is just the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He has a shiny nose, so everybody else hates him, and so Santa decides to use him as a helper. Oh, and I remember there's this little elf who wants to become a dentist, which he was my favorite character. Don't know why, but he was. I need to stop moving my hands. Like, I'm just full on becoming a TikToker now. I should become a TikToker. Oh my god. You know what? If this gets 5 likes, I'll become a professional TikToker. I'm joking. Comment down below if you think I should make a TikTok account, because I used to make TikToks when I was younger. I don't naturally know the words. I need help. So I watched Elf a few years ago with Ella and Riley. It's essentially about this guy who gets raised as an elf, and he feels like he doesn't fit in, so he goes to New York, I believe, to find his real father. And then he finds this guy who is his actual father, and they try to start like a relationship, but it's very chaotic, so. Okay, so the last movie I have is The Polar Express. The Polar Express is not whatever I'm doing.
Okay, so Polar Express is a movie about this kid who's relatively skeptical that Santa exists, and then this train arrives in the middle of the night and takes him to the North Pole. Anyways, I love that movie, so go watch that because it's great. Okay, now I've finished talking about all this, and I'm gonna take this all down. So I hope these gave you some ideas for some movies to watch. Anyways, that's it. Go watch the rest of my Vlogmas videos if you want. Ow. You really don't have to. Nobody's actually watching this, so. Ha ha ha. My camera nearly just broke.